Hello and g'day viewers. Hope you're all well out there, whoever you are, wherever you are. Just thought I'd do another quick sort of anecdotal video of my life and times, my frustrations and musings, talk to people on YouTube, why not? Perhaps somebody benefits from some of my life experience. Call it wisdom, call it foolishness, whatever. But no doubt it's a perspective. It is a perspective on life that is not your own, someone else's perspective. So take that on board. So today I'm thinking about some events that have happened to me recently, and I think I'm going to touch upon the issue of money. I think it's an important issue in the Christian life. How should we deal with our money? What is the Christian perspective on money? I mean, I can think of some Bible verses, but one of them that springs to mind is where Jesus is talking about taxes. When he shows his disciples a coin and he says, "Whose inscription's on this coin?" and they say Caesar's. And so he says, "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to the Lord what is the Lord's." He's talking about the payment of taxes. And then there's another verse that comes to mind, which is the Lord gives and the Lord takes away. Blessed is the Lord. And that could apply to a lot of different situations. Life and death. In terms of people that die, I think that's kind of often used, at perhaps a funeral. The whole ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The Lord gives and the Lord takes away. That's quite often used at a funeral. But I think also it can relate in monetary terms. The Lord gives money and he takes it away. And he gives it for a reason and takes it away for a reason. Same as anything. He blesses us with things and he takes things away from us. The same as a parent disciplines their children. Parents give their children things and then they take things away from them. They give them things that they hope are used constructively, not destructively. Because I think money is one of those things, People can use it in a self-destructive way. There's no doubt about that. You could spend your money on wild living, as in the biblical case of the prodigal son. You see, he ran away from his father's home and spent his time and his money on wild living. Is what the Bible describes it as. Only to realise that he'd ended up in a very self-destructive lifestyle. He was on the streets. He was eating, or desired to eat, the food that was eaten by pigs. He was so destitute and desperate at some point, having turned away from his father and the good things that his father provided. So it's the same for us, we can squander, what we're given on wild living, on self-destructive, pleasure-seeking type activities and behaviour. self-indulging, things like that. Or we can use our money for other more constructive purposes. And perhaps one of the more constructive purposes is it's kind of a defense in a way. That's what I find in life. It gives you a way to bat off the forces of evil in the world, those that come to oppose us as Christians, those that try to attack us through worldly means. The money that God gives us can be used to bat off that shit. That's what it's used for. So God gives you money, and then he takes it away. And it can often be taken away because you need that money to bat off some thing that has attacked you. To bat away might be a better way to say it. Something that's attacked you. Yeah, so I'm finding that is is relevant to a situation that happened to me recently, basically. I mean, the world is not just. There's not a lot of justice in the world. There's a lot of injustice in the world, and particularly injustice against Christians. We're treated badly, treated harshly, treated with disrespect. We are not given justice. We are not given justice. We're dealt with injustice the same way that Jesus was dealt with injustice. Even though he was an innocent man, a completely innocent man, innocent of all crimes, he was still sentenced to death by, the Roman authorities of his day, brought up on the Jewish charge of blasphemy. But he was ultimately sentenced to death by the Roman authorities, although he was guilty of nothing, completely innocent. And even the Roman authorities themselves admitted that. They said, there's nothing, I can't find any charge made out against this person. This man is innocent of any charges that have been brought against him. I will release him. But no, they wanted him crucified regardless of that, regardless of his innocence. They still wanted him crucified. So it was an unjust punishment that was dished out to Jesus. But he took it upon himself, to accept that unjust punishment as a payment for our sinfulness. So he pays a price for us. So through that injustice, a redemption, a redeeming, a buying back of us, basically. That's what salvation is. We are redeemed. We are bought back at a price, at a cost. And Jesus pays that cost for us. So it's likened to a monetary thing, really, isn't it? A cost, a price. Redeemed as being bought back at a price. So it's very biblical in that sense, that money or even assets or whatever, means that you have, financial means, if you want to call it that, that can be something that is for our redemption. We are redeemed with it or by it. That we're paying a price for our salvation. Yeah, so, well, the Bible does say count the cost, count the cost of being a Christian. So there's another, Bible verse I can think of that touches on the theme I'm talking about. Count the cost of becoming a Christian. You have to, the man who loves his life will lose it. And the man who hates his life will be saved, or will save his life. So Christianity is a kind of complete contradiction to the values or the viewpoint of the world. It turns everything upon its head. Because people in the world love the world. They love the things of the world. Whereas Jesus is telling us, or the message of Christianity is telling us, the complete opposite of that. Even though we're in the world, we're not of the world. We will be hated by the world. If he was persecuted, then we will be persecuted. If they hated him, they hate us. So it's difficult. It's costly to be a Christian. But as I said, I think God does give us the means to pay the costs in this world of being a Christian. So even though we are under attack, and in this more so-called civilized world where Christians can no longer be, fed to the lions in an arena, more openly kind of persecuted in that way, stoned to death or something like that, just for being a Christian, even though that's not possible in this society and this legal system. There are other more subtle ways that the world persecutes Christians, and one of the most obvious is economically, by keeping Christians in, financial distress all the time, through random fines and penalties and costs, So that's what I'm finding, that I do get those things. I do get injustice dealt to me all the time. I look at the streets around me and the people around me that are getting away with petty type offences that I'm not getting away with. Simple little things that I'm not aware of. Something that was unknown to me as an aspect of traffic law, relates to parking, different types of parking offences. And there's a lot of different types of parking offences. And unless you're some sort of, expert on traffic and parking offences, you're not going to know all of this stuff. I mean, when you do your driver's licence, you don't learn all these things. You seriously don't go over every aspect of parking and parking violations. Traffic and traffic violations. You don't go over all of it. You're not expected to be a robot, a textbook on it, are you? Really? That's ridiculous. That's unrealistic. It's unjust. These legislators should be required to educate the public about laws and changes of laws and all of the subtleties of the different laws that are out there. Put up signs. Don't park on the grass. For example. Be nice, wouldn't it? Be given a warning. A sign that says don't park on the grass. Penalty $283, Instead of just randomly, you get hit with a penalty without any warning. And you have to pay it because it's a corrupt system, because it's an unjust system, because they don't listen to reason. They don't care about the fact that it's hypocritical and that it's unjust. All they care about is making the money out of it. They've set up this hypocrisy-driven system that's there to make money, not to do what they claim it is, to make the streets safer or whatever the moral justification is behind it. That's not what it's really about. It's really about the money. Yeah, so, we will be, randomly hit with these things, these injustices in our life. But as I said before, God gives you the means, the resources to bat away these attacks. Yeah. And that's what I'm finding. It seems to be very true. It seems that you're given resources that are there, and they're there for your defense against evil. So don't be surprised, if you if you get paid for working a public holiday and you get a bit of extra money, but then suddenly you're hit with a random fine out of nowhere for something that's really, petty, dodgy, sketchy thing that you stepped over a white line or red, a yellow line or something, and wow, really? Can't even remember that happened, you know what I mean? Did that happen? Kind of thing. Or is that really an offence? I can't believe that's an offence. I stepped on a snail or something. Really? Is that a crime? You didn't, well, you mean you weren't aware of that? Come on. Oh, man. That's the crazy world we live in, but don't let it get you down. Don't let it get you down. Don't let the bastards get you down, man. Use the resources that you've got. Yeah, even if it's money. So money is there for that reason. It can be a defense against evil attacks. So God bless you all. Stay safe. Don't let the bastards get you down. Keep reading your Bible. Keep praying. And just keep on keeping on, man. Hang in there, because God loves you, and it will be worth it in the end. I promise you. So does He, and that's more important.